I'm Hope, and welcome to Hopefully Books. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the books that I'm going to be reading for 2025. And you'll have to excuse me. I may cough. I may try and edit out most of the coughing. We've been sick for like the entire month of December. My family has, and so I'm like crawling out of the hole of illness. Very thankful to be feeling a little bit better. One of my biggest goals for this year was to read less. So I read 55 books last year, and this year I'm going to read 20 to 25 books. And the goal is to read much longer books and like heavier material. We're trying to be better about going out and getting coffee, and so we've been making coffee at home a lot. Anyways, I'm drinking I get French vanilla and extra cream in mine. I've already started Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, and I absolutely love that book. It's hilarious so far, and it is a fantasy book. It is massive. Okay, it is like 1,000 pages, I think over 1,000 pages, and so I'm spanning that time of reading that book for January and February, so it'll be 8 weeks. But I'm happy about where I'm at right now because just 3 days in, I started it on January 2nd. I have read an average of like 20 to 25 pages a night. And so I feel like that's a good kind of, a good beginning. I've been disciplined about when I get done with my run, which I've committed to for the month of January, to run every single day except for Saturdays for 30 minutes. And then I will like do my nighttime routine, and then I read my book. And that has worked marvelously. It's about a society of magicians, quote unquote, in London. And just this one feller named Mr. Norrell, who is challenged by them to come and like perform some kind of magic trick or whatever to prove that he is a magician, because they're kind of pitted against each other, and not to spoil the book, that's kind of where the book begins. I like that it's like the 1800s, 1807, I believe, and it's just funny and great and very immersive. The writing is beautiful so far. I have a hard time stopping reading that one, which is a good thing, considering that it's 1,000 pages. I'm trying to finish Run to the Roar by Joe Hurston, and that was for my book club, like my in-person book club, and I actually have it with me here. And I'm so close to finishing this book. I think I'm on page 159 of 218, and so I really would like to finish this like either today or tomorrow. I've liked that book. I do have some theological differences with him, the author, but this book is pretty much just follows his journey, his life journey as a missionary in various areas. I can't remember. I think one was Haiti, and he's a pilot, and so he explains many of his adventures and journeys as a pilot and how God has preserved his life many, like countless times. I've lost count of how many stories he has of life or death situations, and how as Christians the message here is to run to the roar. Like if a lion were around, he was given the advice when he was in Haiti to run to that roar to find the lion rather than running away from it, because you're more likely to perish if you run away rather than trying to find the issue and find the perpetrator. So when you hear a lion roar, run to the roar. The description of the title is Stories About Facing Tough Challenges Head On. And it has been encouraging and inspiring in many ways, and his stories are very entertaining. Next, for the month of January, I'm going to be reading Thou Givest, They Gather by Amy Carmichael. I love Amy Carmichael. I have read 2 of her biographies so far, A Chance to Die by Elizabeth Elliot, and I think one of her others was just titled Amy Carmichael, and it's by Ian Murray. And I just really am inspired by her story. This is a book that was published from Donover Fellowship, the ministry that she founded in India. She was from Ireland, and she lived in India for 50 plus years as a missionary there for young girls who were in a very dire situation where they were being stolen to become temple prostitutes. And she would rescue them and bring them to dawn of her fellowship. And so I love her writing. She is so wise, and I am going to try and read that book during my quiet times in the morning. So for February, I'm going to continue to be reading Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and then also finish The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis. So some of my goals as well, just kind of mixing it all in here, is that my priority books and series that I want to finish this year, regardless of what else I read, is the Ransom Trilogy by C.S. Lewis and Narnia. All of the books I would like to have read. And so I'm halfway through, maybe 25% through Horse and His Boy. So for March, I'm going to be reading The Karamazov Brothers by Dostoevsky. That's a big one, and I've heard it's wonderful. It's a lot of people's favorite book, and it's a book that intimidates me, and it's a book that I really would like to read. And then April, I'm wanting to read The Life and Diary of David Brainerd and Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. But I commented a while back on In Search of Wonders channel. I'll post her a picture or a username up here. But I commented on one of her videos. She mentioned reading a book that was about David Brainerd, and we made Buddy read that one. I need to check back with her though and see if we're going to be able to do that month. This is kind of the year of reading the books that I've always wanted to read, and I'm tired of looking at them on my shelf, and I want them in my brain. Then May, I'm going to be reading The Shell Seekers by Rosamund Pilcher. A lot of people love that book too, and I'm excited because it's going to be warming up, and it just seems like a beachy, summery-ish book. And then May is also going to be another month where I do a freebie book as well. So I can either pick one on my bookshelf or rent one from the library. I'm not doing an official book buying ban for the year of 2025, but I'm really prioritizing reading what is on my shelf or reading something from the library. June is going to be the month where I read The Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb and Brave New World. Then July, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, a freebie, and The Magic City by E. Nesbit. August is my birthday month, and I'm going to be reading my favorite book, which is Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. And my husband bought me it might be an American first edition. I'll have to ask him what it is. It's a paperback of Till We Have Faces, and it is so cool. I wish that I had it here. I'm not at home right now. I wish that I had it to show you guys because it's so awesome. So I'm going to be probably using that copy to read Till We Have Faces again, and this will probably be my fourth time reading that book. Then I'm going to be also reading A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I'm excited about that. September is going to be Perelandra by C.S. Lewis. That's the second book in the Ransom Trilogy, and then a freebie for September. So I'm kind of staggering the months with very strict, you're reading these two or these three, and then next month you get one book and then a freebie. Then that is a very ambitious month for September, but then I'm also going to read A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. Then in October, I'm going to read That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis, which is the last book in the Ransom Trilogy. And then I'm going to read And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. November is going to be the month for Kristen Lavenstatter by Sigrid Undset. And that book is also mammoth. It's huge, but I'm excited. Then Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. So I've also tried to pick books that are completely opposite so that I don't get bored with a certain genre. And then December, I'm going to read Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky and Guards by Terry Pratchett. I'm afraid to make this kind of video that's so okay, I'm going to read these things and stick to this for 12 months. But I really do want to prioritize a stricter reading schedule this year so that I read the books that I've always wanted to read and that I know that I'll probably really enjoy. And so last year was sort of an experimental year where I read a lot of books that I would not usually pick up, a lot of genres that I was not initially interested in. And I'm glad that I did that, but I'm in more of a mood of reading books that I want that read. I want it read, okay? And so I think I'm going to enjoy this year. And two, it's so freeing because I was reading like 7 books at a time last year too. It's so stressful. Reading only 1 or 2 books at a time is awesome. I'm going to be doing more specific like book reviews this coming year and learning how to give a book review in a way that's helpful and enjoyable. I would love to know what your reading goals are or just some of your general goals, life goals as well. Thank you guys for being here and dedicating some of your time to sit here and listen. So I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.